Yeah, and welcome back to episode 4 of Let's Automate Space Engineers. Just a quick recap. Last week, we ended up playing around with trying to build a mobile version of our drill rig. That is still there. And then we got lost down the rabbit hole of a action relay networking solution. And I did an absolute great job at butchering exactly how that works and made it so complicated that even I struggled to understand what I put in the video, so I apologize for that. Looking forwards, in this video, we will be doing a brief overview of the script and where we've got that up to. And then we'll end up doing some preparation on the base so that we can essentially start moving underground and actually have a base to move into. So that is the main goals for this episode. I hope you enjoy. All right. So if you made it to the end of the last episode, you'll know that we lost our progress and I wasn't able to get the scripts out. I found another issue. I can't actually export the scripts direct from in-game. So, the way I was saving them was, browse scripts, hitting the plus to create a new script. And I've now got our gateway in and our router script saved in here. But as soon as I hit publish, my game crashes. So I'm going to have to do a little more research on how to get these scripts out to you guys. Once I've figured it out, I will get them up. Hopefully, I will have figured that out before I finished recording this episode. Next thing I've done, a couple of changes. I found after rewatching my video, it was really hard to actually understand what was going on. So do you mind Meteor Storm? Like, sheesh. So what I've done is I've added in another set of LCDs just to kind of help explain what I am doing. So for my ship ID codes, anything that is from 0 to 99 is just going to be my own personal vehicles, just so I can keep a track of what the batteries are at, what the storage is at, etc. 100 to 199 is going to be for PAM drones, Path Auto Miner drones. 200 to 299 is going to be for transporters, and 900 to 999 is going to be for our drill rigs. I haven't really got anything in between, so I'm going to leave those blank for now, but as we come up with kind of more ideas, we'll add them in. Like, we'll probably end up allocating a code to stations and all sorts of stuff. Next up, we have our status codes. And this is the most important part to me. It's getting, whether the ship is docked, undocked, landed, or in flight. Landed being checking if the landing gear is locked. Docked being if it's using a connector. Getting back the cargo status, the battery status, the ammo status, hydrogen status, health status, and its job status. To me, all of that stuff is really, really important. And then finally, it's the location ID. So where it is, whether it's at one of our bases, which is going to be for location ID 0 to 99. One of our defense towers, 100 to 199. One of our drill rigs, 900 to 999. And on top of having updated this area, the kind of server room area, I also went one step further and I had a go at getting the terminal script going. So the terminal, the reason why I've called this a terminal script is it's the end user that is taking the data from the router that the router is getting from the gateway, and then it's translating it into useful information. At least that's going to be the plan anyway. So last code I sent through was 900 for the ship ID, 25 for the status code, and then 102 for its location ID, which it is then using the definitions in the script to say, hey, look, yep, that's ship 900. Its battery is at 80%, and it's at location 102. I haven't given it the location database yet, so I got to figure that side out. But the way we've done this is actually really, really simple. By defining a dictionary, and then inside the dictionary, you can just add what each code is going to mean. So for me, 0 is docked, 1 undocked, you know, and then it's just gone. I've just gone through and added the codes that I need for now. That's what I've done. The fun part was then turning this, getting this to print out to an LCD. So the status mapping, if we come back to the top, defining the defaults that it would be at. So if we have a quick look at the status panel at the moment, it is no longer at default because I've been running some tests to make sure this works. But there we go. It is currently saying that ship 900 is in flight at location 100. That cargo status is 0%, battery status is 80%, and job progress is 10%. Now, if we hit recompile, it'll reset all of that data back to its defaults. And by defining defaults, it's going to automatically reset everything back to it's landed at base. The cargo is at 0%. It's going to say batteries at 100%, even though I don't currently know what it's at. And that job progress is 0%. Now, we've headed over to our ship. And at our ship, if we go into it, so first thing we can do is we can send through a battery status code. So let me just open up my codes. I've closed it. Wrong one. It's that one. So my battery status code. 20 is on emergency power. 21 would say batteries are at 20%. Let's go with batteries at 50, 23. And we are currently at the bunker. So we will say 000 for bunker. We'll run that code. Well, also while we're here, we can do a test on the status of the job, and we'll say again we'll go 50%. We'll run that code. We'll head back into our command center, and it should be displaying the last code it got. That job progress is at 50%. Yep. But we should also notice battery status has been updated to 50%. I haven't done cargo status yet. I can't remember the codes off the top of my head. But yeah, that is where we've got to with the relay network stuff. And once I build the definition or the database for ship IDs and what ship is what, for this one, I'd only need to define the 10 codes that it is using, 900 to 909, which actually wouldn't be too hard now that I think about it, to make it so that it can be reused and are reused on other terminals, is what we would say is we would forget about the first number of the identifier because we don't need that anymore. We could even forget the next two numbers in the identifier for 1 to 9 for the drill rig terminals anyway. But yeah, so once we're at this point, the first number is not going to change. So we can completely drop that after we get to the terminal. So it's the next two numbers after the first number that we want to check for, and we want to define the names for those ships. So instead of saying ship ID, where is it? Instead of saying ship 900, it will say the name of the ship. But yeah, that's about as far as we have made it. I haven't tried a code that will break it yet. Let's give that a quick go. We'll try a code that'll break it. What am I doing in the cockpit? So what's a code that I'm not using? I'm not using anything in the 80s range. 80. It doesn't matter about the location. ID 102. Run. That should come through as an unidentified code. Yep. And then we have our unidentified codes 1. And what I might end up doing is having another LCD where we just put a list of unidentified codes so I can troubleshoot where they're coming from and what's causing them. But that's about as far as I've gotten. To make the script any more useful, I need to get our supporting ships for the drill rig ready, figure out exactly how we're going to load and offload this drill rig. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of time lapses in this video of us building ships. I hope you're ready for the ride, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, you guys are probably sick of hearing about me talk about scripts for the moment because that's all I've done for the past, most of last episode and the start of this one. So the scripts, we're going to leave them where they are. And we're going to go straight ahead and get on to getting the base ready now that the drill rig has completely finished. Well, up to what we've set it to. And I believe we should be able to get some bonus kind of depth and safety here purely by going down 1 to our max depth, but 2 changing to using right click drill just to clean out some extra space. So for now we're going to pause the rig. Come over here, pause. So we'll come back and sort that out a bit later on. We're going to pause the rig. What we need to do, and give me a second, let's just check our components, is make sure that we've got enough components to build a whole bunch of cargo containers. So what we're going to essentially be doing is getting rid of all of the storage that's on our original drill rig. Ooh, that would have been a fun trip. So we need to replace all of these cargo containers, but not just all of these cargo containers. We need to replace all of these cargo containers for now, and they're going to be temporary. We are going to be wasting resources because it's because of all scrap. But it is a necessary evil at this point. I want to go deeper before I completely delete the drill rig, before we completely scrap the drill rig, which before we also do that, we need to get defense turrets set up on top of our wind towers so that we can still stop ourselves from getting completely obliterated by the meteors. So yeah, there's a little bit that we need to get done. First things first, we need some cargo containers, and this just needs 45 of the tier 4 motors. That's what we were checking. How many of the tier 4 motors do we have? Because we're going to need a few cargo containers. LWTS motor T4. We currently have 100. Let's see if we can push that. Is it going to craft them? If we can still craft tier 4 motors, this is going to make our life a lot easier. If we can't craft any more tier 4 motors, we're going to have to go down to the tier 3. Looks like we're going to have to go down to the tier 3. We'll put that back to 100. Let the script update. And we are able to craft more of the tier 3. So we're going to be building tier 3 containers. Cargo. Tier 3 large. What do we need to place those? We just need steel plate. And we are going to place down a metric, like, kind of as many of these as we can. Right, 7. I need to make sure the conveyor ports line up. Seven, and we'll do another line of 7. And with the auto crafting on the base, it should automatically refill the resources that we're using to weld these up. Oh, geez. Yep, that's already filled that with resources, so we can jump in and finish it off. It's welding this one. Where's my buddies? They're supposed to be up here welding. But yeah, so we don't have to worry about being the ones that stay here and weld this up. We will let build and repair system finish that off. We will... I'm pretty sure I told that to pause. I'm fairly certain we said pause. Maybe we didn't, and I kind of just forgot about it. So yeah, while that's welding up, what we need to do is rename all of the cargo containers that we've got set up to sort inventories on the both underground and on the drill rig to just nothing. We need to rename all of them. And the easiest way to do that is to grab them all. Can I reset their names? Yes. Oh, that was way quicker. We grab them all. reset their names. Cool. So now Izzy's inventory manager isn't going to try and force more inventory into them. If we grab them and we just want to add old as the prefix, old space, yep, prefix. That means we're not going to get confused with those and the new ones. Now, if we search for cargo, we now only see, well, we still see the old ones too, but we should only really see the new ones. These ones, we will turn them off being seen in inventory screen. They don't matter to us right now. LCC dash LCC EX for exposed dash ores, and we're going to want a few containers. We'll do 2 containers for ores. This is going to be ingots. We're going to need a lot more containers for ingots than we are for ores. Oh, I see ores are completely full. Okay, we'll give you some more ores containers. We're going to need a few more ingots containers. We're definitely going to need a bunch of component containers. This is going to take a while. We will catch up with you guys on the other side of this. Okay, so all of our cargo containers, our large cargo containers at least, that were underground have now been cleared out. One thing I have noticed is it's nighttime and I want to be able to see what we're doing. So we need to add a whole bunch of lights somewhere to try and light up the hole, or we can wait till daytime. I prefer to light up the hole. So what are our options for lights? We got spotlights and we have interior lights. Spotlights need quite a bit more to build, but they will give us more light. What do we need to place it? Steel plate. Let's just put 100 of that back and grab some construction comp. For now, I think our best option going to be kind of spread them around the bottom of the control room and hope that's going to give us enough. We'll go spotlights first. Oh. And then our little friend should weld those up. And you know what? Is there like a... That's going to be the center point. That's going to be the center point. That's going to be the center point. And that's going to be the center point. We'll get all of those going. The next part is we want to add one on here. And we're going to need a bunch of lights on here so that we can kind of at least see our drill head placement. Now, none of these lights are permanent, so we're not worried too much about naming them, but we do need them to spread as much as possible. The other thing we're going to need is a control seat, because as far as I know, and I've been trying to research it as much as possible, as far as I know, we're not able to use right click drilling without using a control seat, which I kind of understand and I kind of don't at the same time. Oh no. And then we just come in here, search for light. Give me a second. Let's just go. One of the mods I'm testing at the moment is the tethers mod. Essentially what it gives you is this power line pillar, which if you left click with a free hand, you can add the ability to charge separate grids without having to connect them. Yeah, so if we do that, it now connects them, and we're now giving power from the base directly to our rover. That's about it. And if I do it again, it'll disconnect them, and I don't have to worry about seeing the light from the rover in the base. So let's come back to the base. Now if we search for lights, I know all the lights that are here. Turn off stuff that has been hidden. All the lights that are here should be on the base. Let's just increase all of the radiuses, change to just interior lights, 20 meters. Offset will increase that so that we get kind of a wider light. Turn the fall off. Which means we should get quite a wide radius. I think that's lit up the hole pretty much as well as we're going to get it. And if we grab our spotlights, we should be able to increase the range of those. It's already at max. Offset, max it. I think. Yeah, no, I think that's going to do us for now. At least for what we need it to do. Now, what we're going to do is come over back to the base, jump in, and there's a few things we need to do. We want to go to our event controllers. Max depth of retracted is already off. And then to our hotbar, we want to add our rotors group. We want to be able to toggle that on and off. We want to grab our pistons depth group. That in number 3, we want to be able to toggle on and off, and reverse. Our pistons width group, same thing, on and off, and reverse. I think that should be everything. Oh, I'm forgetting the most important part. Our drills. Now we don't want to add them from here. We want to go to block tools. We want to add the drills. This will allow you to use your left click and right click drilling. If you're having issues trying to get this in game, you have to go to block tools and drag it in from there to use it as a left and right click. Otherwise, it's just toggle on off. Now, let's just clean up my HUD. One was on. Yeah, automatically that's going to clean up the edge of our hole. It's going to give us a bit more range to move. Yeah, well, not range, but it's going to make the edges look nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the hole for the bunker. We're going to okay, I think that's the best we're going to get out of that. I'm going to go clean up the hole. And once I'm done, we'll kind of bring you back and progress on. But for us to kind of get too much further in, we need to be able to get our storage down safe. We need to, so that we can start building our hydrogen tanks, our storage containers into a proper storage area, and get our control room moved somewhere safer. Much as I love it where it is, I don't think that's going to be the best place for it. Oh, the amount of time we've put into getting that there. All right, it is what it is. All right, we will catch you on the other side. We have maxed out the depth that our depth pistons can reach. So let's go have a quick look at how deep our hole has ended up. Let's find where the drill head is, because then we'll actually be able to see. Oh, wow. So we are going to need to run it a little bit longer just to clean up the rough edges. But we have ended up with an extra, you know, couple of meters. Just to kind of go for scale, one block is 2.5 meters. I reckon we bought ourselves an extra 10 meters there. And then we can also bring this back in a little closer, but then let's see how it tidied it up for coming down. There's a couple of little things that need tidying, but I think it did overall pretty damn good. So right about where our production, where our temporary production has all been slapped down to make this work, is probably where our command room is going to end up. Yeah. It gives us a bit more space. And if need be, we can kind of extend it around. Yeah, so far that's the plan. That this, oh, do I want the top level to be our, like, I feel like for a super secret bunker, right? The command room should go somewhere, well, not super secret, but like for if we're gonna call this a bunker that we can survive in, I want our command room to be somewhere where, you know, we're getting absolutely attacked. And, you know, while we're getting absolutely attacked, the multiple things can be failing on the base. but we're still going to be safe hiding. Well, not hiding, but be safe and able to counterattack wherever the command room ends up being, or the control room. Now, for that to work, it means that that we need to make sure that it's in a more kind of secure location. Right, so I'm going to let this run around a few more times just to clean up those rough edges that we ended up with because I ran the rig too fast. I was trying to push this to go as quickly as possible, but it didn't work out for me. And then I'm probably going to have to do it in reverse, just tidy the walls up a bit more. I'll dig out the centerpiece. Once we're done, we can get started on laying a floor down. Getting some walls in. No. We need to lay the floor down so that we can build the rig that's then going to dig out the walls. That's going to give us our space to start building storage areas. That's what we need to do. And then once we can get storage, safely placed underground, we'll go back to building our drill ships. We are going, well, not our drill ships, but I've got 5 drones we've got to build. Ideally, we get 3 of them built today so that we can start testing the automation for how they dock with the drill rig. And, all we need to do to test that automation is get 1 working. And then I need to do some more work kind of off screen to get the script for sending status through working a bit better. At the moment it does send through status, but it breaks. It just breaks the transmitter programmable block by trying to send too much information too quickly, causing all sorts of glitches, meaning that the codes aren't recognized on the base side. All right. I think we should now have a much cleaner floor. Meteor storm inbound. Yeah, that looks good. And a cleaner wall too. So I'm going to clean up the rest of the hole. And we'll bring you guys back once we have the rest of the hole cleaned out. And we're ready to kind of progress from there. I'm going to, now that you've seen the process in time-lapse once, I'm not going to force you to watch it again. Okay, he's hoping I got this right. And we are just about daytime. Doesn't look too bad. We still have a little bit to clean out in the middle, which I was expecting. But we have a fairly level ground at... we're about 100 meters deep. Looking at the antenna is 80 meters above us. And then is the antenna at the ground height? It is. So yeah, we're 80 meters under the ground. That should be more than deep enough for us to retain some form of safety. Now, I was going to try and, start cutting out the drill rig and then build a separate system down here to spin around and dig out further sideways. But now that I think about it, we don't have to do it that way. We don't have to make it that difficult. All we have to do is alter the head of our drill rig. So we'll retract it as back in as far as we can. We can retract all the pistons up. No, we want it to kind of start. No, we can actually get rid of a bunch of pistons. But yeah, what we want to do is essentially we want to figure out, first of all, what is the height or the amount of voxel we want to have between us and the outside world. Do we kind of want at least 10, 20 meters of voxel between us and any rockets that may be coming at us? Well, at least that's my plan, is I want to have at least kind of 20 meters of voxel at our lowest point, and I think this here is our lowest point. And saying that, we are going to end up digging through this voxel here to gain access to some cargo, or not cargo, some drone or carrier bay over here. Let's put Germbot in a position where it's easier to explain. All right, looking at Germbot's perspective, you'll see we have kind of where our current line of storage, temporary storage is, which is kind of on like a giant square right next to the main bunker. And then next to that we have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-sided, yeah, another octagon. But not like it's not a symmetrical octagon. Anyway, we have another octagon which is kind of long. I kind of intend in that area is where we're going to end up putting like a large kind of carrier ship that carries around a bunch of drones. And we can use one, could be like a cargo, a mainly cargo focused carrier. One can be a hydrogen focused carrier. We can have a defense focused carrier that carries around a bunch of fighter drones, bomber drones, just a bunch of fun stuff. And then we have one more. I think that's going to house, I don't know what number 4 is. You got any ideas? Let me know in the comments. Like this is all hypothetical. Like it all depends on whether or not I can actually make a lot of this stuff work. But that's where we're up to. We're going to go ahead and modify the drill rig now so that we can start drilling outwards. So let's just jump straight to that. Right, so first things first, when it comes to modifying our drill rig, we need to make sure we turn off the welder. Otherwise, that's going to hurt quite badly. Now we're just going to go through, grind up all the drills and probably a couple of pistons. And we'll go from there. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Right, now we want to retract the width back to as pretty much as close as we can get at the base. Turn our depth pistons off, we'll reverse them. Actually, we'll raise it up a bit. Let's say somewhere about there will do. Right, so now what we need to do is first we need to empty our inventory. Jeez. We're gonna want interior plates about 100 and can't remember which of those we need, so we'll grab all of it. And before we go any further, I better fill up on hydrogen, otherwise we're gonna end up with some really embarrassing fails fairly soon. All right, let's head back to the hole. In the hole we go. So we are going to need... I'm not going to worry about making this one look so pretty. Conveyor junctions, and if we can, some more tier 4 drills. All right, so the junctions are so that we can extend out towards the walls. We kind of want to get as close as we can to the wall before placing our drills. I think we can go at least one more. We can go a couple more than that. I think that's going to be pretty much our limit. We'll let everybody else weld everything up while we continue to place down all of our drills. So, are we about the lowest point? We are. And something like that'll do. We'll let the minions do all the welding up on that one. I really don't feel like doing it. Once they've finished, we will continue with that, because that could take a while. Right, I think we're ready to start expanding the base hole. So essentially all we've done is we added a bunch of drills on the end of the drill rig. We're going to right click mine, rotate it around nice and slow. I think we're going to turn the speed down quite a bit. Doombot has quite a nice view. Hopefully it looks as cool as I think it's going to look from Doombot's perspective. But there is only really one way to find out, and that's to do it. Right, without further ado, we're going to jump ahead and start mining this out. Okay, something's broken. Oh, I see. We're one drill too many. Hopefully that doesn't affect us too much. I was wondering what the heck was going on. I was like, no, we should be fine. We should be fine. Well, you know, it's given us a decent amount of space to start with. At least, let's see. So this is where we had run our conveyor line. So we're coming past the conveyor line by at least a couple of blocks. Deeper than the conveyor line by a couple of blocks. I mean, I can't complain about the amount of space this has given us to start with. Like, as a starting point for a base, this is insane.
Meteor storm inbound.
What I do need to do is I'm going to attempt to use the same setup without having to cut it down or anything. I'm going to attempt to use it to then do a little bit of cleanup on this top area here. All right, yeah, this is working. Better than anticipated. And without having to get too overly complicated with it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and process this through and see what. All right, it is now nighttime. Thankfully, Junebot has shadows turned off, so he's getting quite a good view of exactly what we were able to do with that last pass with the drill rig, which means we can go around and start placing in the rest of the kind of outer rim for the base. Now that we've managed to clear that out, we can also start building down into the hole, so that we can start setting up some floors, start defining areas. Oh man, this is going to be like a huge base episode. I was hoping to get to building the ships, but we're going to have to build the ships while we're being attacked, because this is going to take way too long. Like I didn't expect that I was going to do this much on the base. I kind of wanted to jump straight into the drones, but without a base to dock them at, the drones aren't that useful yet. So, you know, base it is. Wait, what's going on? Junebot's closing? What is this? Multiplayer session no longer exists. Probably closed. What do you mean probably closed? Like, my main PC is still on. Like, it's there, it's working. Oh, hang on. Why is nothing moving? What is... not again. I think the game's about to crash. We haven't saved yet. Oh, man. Damn it. Come on, come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Oh, geez. This might take some time. Also, don't worry, there is more content coming. Next week is going to be our cinematic episode. It is going to be a lot of stuff condensed down into one. And I was going to separate it off and make it its own complete separate series, but I've decided next week's episode is when we return on the NPCs. So it's going to be a race against time to get our defenses on till halfway through the episode when the hostile NPCs turn up. We will be building ships, we will be building defense towers. There is a lot in store for you next week, so stick around and I hope to see you then.